Alright, so some people might say that I've got a little bit of a bias situation going on right now, but I'm going to be talking about something that I strongly believe in, and I'm actually really hoping does happen. For those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, yes, I guess didn't read the title, I don't know, I actually genuinely think Darius Garland is going to be an All-Star this season. I know I'm hoping for him to be an All-Star, but in my heart, I actually think he could be an All-Star this season. You know what? Scratch that. He is going to be an All-Star in this 2021 to 2022 season. Of course, I'll be explaining why I think this is the case, but first of all, I just wanted to, give a shout out to Coach Kendrick Perkins, Coach Perk, for actually tweeting out a thing where he said, outside of Trae Young, that young stud, Darius Garland, is the second best point guard in the Eastern Conference and should be an All-Star reserve this year. Carry on, ... Now, even though I'm a huge Cavs fan, I feel like Coach Perk is kind of a Cavs fan here too. I do think that might not be true. I think LaMelo Ball might be a little bit in front of him. Same with, of course, Trae Young, obviously. But then you got Kyrie Irving, who's injured, so he doesn't, well, not injured, just not playing, doesn't count. Ben Simmons, just not playing, doesn't count. A couple of these guys have really paved the way and opportunity for these young players like Darius Garland to come in this season. And although I do think Trae Young will 100% be the starting All-Star point guard for this season, you got to remember, the All-Star team needs a backup point guard, and I don't think there is one in that Eastern Conference that deserves it more than Darius Garland. Of course, you could say LaMelo Ball, he could definitely come in, but I think LaMelo Ball, he is averaging 20 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds, and those are really good numbers, but I'm going to take away that rebound factor for a little bit because they, of course, don't really have a center, so it doesn't really matter. If we compare LaMelo Ball's stats to Darius Garland, look, you do see that he averages about a point extra per game. To be more precise, it's like 0.8, and he does average like 0.7 assists per game. So stats are very, very similar when it does come to that. So it's really hard to say who deserves a spot more. Although, the reason I'm actually going to say Darius Garland deserves a spot more is because you got to think about it. The Cavaliers are a way better team than what the Hornets are right now. And you might say, well, that's because the Hornets don't have a great center, and that's, the Cavs are really got a lot of good spots on the team, but I also don't necessarily think that's the case. I think Jarrett Allen, etc. would not be having as good of a season if it wasn't for Darius Garland. Darius Garland is absolutely killing it to these players. Like, his playmaking has been absolutely insane to Jarrett Allen. Like, if it wasn't for Darius Garland, Jarrett Allen wouldn't probably average more than 12 points per game this season, but now he's averaging 17. A couple of assists per game do go to Jarrett Allen from Garland, and he absolutely sets him up to perfection. Not just that, when we look at Darius Garland, he also has to compete for those assists with Ricky Rubio, and the fact that he is averaging 7 assists per game, leading the Cavaliers, even though he doesn't even, when he shares the ball with Ricky Rubio has the ball like 100% of the time. Like, most Cavs fans know this. So when they share the court together, which is about like 60 to 70% of the game, Garland really doesn't have too much time to get those assists. So if you were to take away Ricky Rubio, I could see Garland averaging like 10 assists per game this season. Like, his playmaking is absolutely crazy. And you take away Rubio, and I think his playmaking, his stats would be a lot more higher like that as well. And again, you just kind of look at that. There is a lot of factors on why Garland's stats aren't better than LaMelo's right now. But if we look at LaMelo, he's the number one option in his team. He's the number one ball handler, number one playmaker, this and that. He's really got no one in front of him. While Darius Garland, he becomes a really good player, and he knows when to kind of take a back seat, play a little off ball, and let Ricky Rubio on that hold the ball. So again, Garland could easily average those stats if he wanted to, in my opinion. Especially if the Cavaliers, if Ricky Rubio was to get injured or something like that would have happened. Again, touch wood, that doesn't happen. But if it was, dude, Garland would be averaging like 20 and 10 every single night. Like, crazy numbers. Darius Garland, look, I'm not too sure if he is necessarily better than LaMelo Ball. At the time of making this, I could say that Garland is better, but LaMelo Ball might be a little bit better down the line. But what I am trying to say is, at the time of making this video, I genuinely believe Darius Garland should be an All-Star over LaMelo Ball, and I think he should be the backup All-Star point guard for this team. the Cavaliers are too good just to have one All-Star in Jarrett Allen. They need two, and I genuinely believe Darius Garland is that guy because he's a freaking star. Darius Garland is one of the most elite point guards in the league. Is he top 5? I'm not sure. There's still a lot of players, like if we were to talk about players that are just playing right now, and not count the ones that aren't playing, you still got to look. There's Lonzo. Well, not Lonzo, actually. More like LaMelo's. He's a top 5 point guard. I think Garland could be a top 5. Again, both of those could definitely be a top 5 point guard. You look at it like this. If you're counting Harden as a point guard, which is the All-Star team, he'll be counted as a shooting guard. But if you're counting as a point, he's there. You kind of look at that. You got Trae Young, Chris Paul, Steph Curry, and Ja Morant. And I really don't know if there's any other kind of in front of him. Garland has surpassed D'Angelo Russell by far. He has surpassed De'Aaron Fox by far. Damian Lillard is not having a good season. I'm not going to be calling him a better player at the moment than Garland until I see, Damian Lillard actually start winning more than 13 games at the time of making this video. Again, you might not say it's not his fault, but he's had some damn inconsistent games. Of course, he's a better player than Darius Garland, but maybe just not this season. Then you got Westbrook, who's just not better than Garland. I'm sorry to say, he's just not. So again, Darius Garland he's a freak. He's a freak of nature, and he should be in the All-Star game. I've listed my reasons why, and I genuinely believe it will be abide by this. Like, I think too many experts like, Coach Perk, aka the Lord and Savior Kendrick Perkins, too many of those type of people believe that Darius Garland should be an All-Star for this to, not happen. If he was in the West, he wouldn't be an All-Star. They've got Steph, Ja Morant, Chris Paul. They're just better than Garland. I'm wise enough to say that they're just better than Garland. It's obvious. But in the East, I will not be saying LaMelo Ball is better than Garland. It is a really hard one to say who's better, especially considering every time they play each other, Garland smacks him. It's just how it is. And then when we look at it as well, Trae Young's, of course, better than Garland. He's the only one in that Eastern Conference I'm going to say is better than Garland. Of course, I could say Ben Simmons and Kyrie Irving, but they're not playing at the moment, so it doesn't matter to me. I don't care, because they're not in contention to be an All-Star this season, so they make no difference to this video whatsoever. And then you got James Harden there, but he'll start at that shooting guard position. So I think 100% Darius Garland he's an All-Star this year. And the thing is, even if they don't select him for some really, really weird decision, a player will probably pull out through injury in that Eastern Conference All-Star anyway, or something will happen, and Darius Garland will just take that spot anyway. So what I'm trying to say is right now, Darius Garland, lock it in. Lock it in. This guy is an All-Star. He should be an All-Star for 2022. The stats prove it. The experts say it. The the Cavaliers record, that proves and says it. Talk your talk, Cavs. That's how it is. Again, as I said, Darius Garland is an All-Star this season, and that will be my final statement for this video. Of course, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Comment in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts and opinions on this? Do you guys think Darius Garland is an All-Star? Do you guys not? Comment in the comment section down below. Who's better in that Eastern Conference? Of course, Trae Young. Is LaMelo Ball better than Darius Garland? Is Damian Lillard having a better season than Garland? That might be the only controversial thing I said in this video. Because I think Garland's having a better season than Lillard. I just think Lillard's had too many inconsistent games to be on top of Garland. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this down below. Let's have a civilized chat. Everyone get active and let's see what's going on. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel, MIRO/long channel, and my podcast channel. If you haven't already, all of them will be in the description down below. But as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, comment your comments in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.